Welcome back everyone to the back ranks. Is opening really tough to learn? Are you tired of memorizing long opening lines? Play the opening like a book, the middle game like a magician, and the end game like a machine. Rudolf Speilman. The first moves in a game of chess are called openings. This is a time when players prepare their pieces for battle. Opening strategy is all about building a strong middle game formation. With a firm understanding of chess principle in the opening, it will be easy to master this opening phase. Today, I am going to tell you some of the most important principles of opening. If you follow it in your game, you can definitely outplay your opponents. Let's jump into it. For illustration purpose, I am guiding you with the movement of white pieces only. In the real game, your opponent will also make moves. You have to make your moves according to the replay of your opponents, keeping these principles in mind. The most important part of the chessboard is the center, especially the four squares: e4, d4, e5 and d5. From the center, pieces can move in any direction where they are needed. A strong central formation is the best formation for attack or defense. Whoever controls the center controls the game. Keep a pawn in the center. Best way to control the center is to place a pawn there. A pawn can help to do three things: protect the piece that are in the center, prevent the opponent from moving piece into the center, stop the opponent from advancing pawn to chase your pieces out of the center. Centralize your pieces. In general, your piece should move towards the center in the opening. This helps to control that part of the board and make them more mobile too. Have a look at this position. The knight is in the corner. It has just two moves. We say knight in a rim is dim. If you put a knight in the center, it will reach to its full power of 8 possible moves. Bishop benefits from centralization too. A bishop on the side has 7 moves compared to 13 in the center. It's good to develop your bishop so that they aim through the center. Principle of development. Develop your pieces. Give your pieces more freedom. Don't move too many pawns. It's usually a good idea to develop the knights and bishop first. In that, knights before bishop. They are the pieces that benefit the most from moving off the back ranks. Besides, it's hard to develop the rooks when they are in the way. A primary principle of opening play is to get all your pieces developed. Don't move the same piece twice. It's absolutely vital to not waste a single move in developing your pieces. If you start moving the same piece around while your other pieces are still on their starting squares, you are losing time. Don't bring your queen early in the game. In beginner's play, we often find this type of scholars mate. But it is unwise to rely on tap when you are in serious games. Remember, the queen is the most valuable piece besides the king. So you can't afford to lose her unless you can get your opponent's queen in exchange. Early on the game, if you bring out the queen out, your opponent can develop his piece and attack your queen at the same time. You would then have to waste a move saving your queen when you could be developing instead. Let's examine this. e4, e5, bishop c4, targeting the weak f7 pawn which is only guarded by the king. Knight c6, queen h5, threatening a checkmate. g6, blocking the path of the attacking queen. Queen f3, maintaining the checkmate threat. Knight f6, blocking the path of the queen. g4, the idea is to push further to g5 and to put pressure on the knight, and if moved, checkmate. d5, challenging the center and attacking the bishop. e into d5, knight d4, attacking the queen and threatening to fork the king and rook. Queen d1, guarding the pawn. Bishop g4, attacking the queen, threatening to capture it. Black is far ahead in development and in a winning position. For instance, if knight e2, blocking the check, knight f3, check, king f1, bishop h3 is a checkmate. King safety. King safety is one of the basic goals of strategy. Nothing else matters much if the king is dead. This is why you should plan for his safety right from the beginning of the game. Castling was invented just for that purpose. Castle. Don't move the pawns in front of the castled king. Castle does several things to keep the chess troop happy. The king is glad to go where he can have some pawn cover. Staying in the center is dangerous when the center pawns advances and lines are opened. It is easy to defend the king near to a corner too. There are fewer directions to attack him from. Castling is helpful to the rooks also. The king is no longer standing in their way on the e-file, and the castle rook is brought towards the center. Rooks are powerful pieces that are eager to show their strength on the open lines. Don't leave them mopping in the corners. Move your queen safely to d2 or e2. Rooks works well in open files or the half-open files. In this position, e-file is an open file and there is no pawn on it. So keeping the rook there is a good idea. Rook to e1 is a sensible move. A half-open file is a file which only have one colored pawn on it. Here in this position, d-file is a half-open file. Keeping the rook on d1 is also a useful move. These are some of the basic principles and strategies in opening. I hope that you find them very useful. Remember that these are only general principles and there are plenty of exceptions to the rules. Good players know when to break the rules. But to do that, you must first learn how to follow them. Here is the gentle reminder of the rules which I explained. Central control. Centralize your pieces. Keep pawn in center. Develop your pieces. Use all your pieces. Don't block your pieces and center pawns. Give your pieces freedom. Don't move too many pawns. Don't bring your queen too early in the game. Don't move the same piece twice. Castle. Don't move the pawns in front of the castled king. Connect your rooks. Keep your rooks in an open or semi-open file. While doing all this, you should try to stop your opponent from doing so. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be coming with more instructional videos in coming days. Stay tuned. Stay blessed.